Should your biggest concern when you become an expat is making friends in the new country you're living in? Well, I'm going to answer a question that I was asked about my personal life. And so let's go ahead and get into it. Hey, Jason here. If you've been watching the channel, you've been seeing me now 10 years as an expat slash nomad. I'm on my fourth country, third continent in Lusaka, Zambia, in the southern region of Africa. And just been really sharing a lot of information, not only about Zambia, especially if you're already an expat or someone who's thinking about becoming one, because there's a lot of opportunities in this southern region of Africa that we're not given the true information on. And so I've been shedding a light on it, plus sharing things about my personal life. So in this episode of Ask Jason, one of the questions that I got asked, and I was like, let me just do a video instead of writing a long paragraph on the comments. So how do you get by without friends and not even Zambian friends? And this is a good question. I also remember, I'm not new into the game of expat. I am used to doing this now. It is just a natural part of my life. And I'm going to be honest with you. Because this isn't my first country, when I first left the United States, I was focused on making friends, building these friendships. And it was a waste of my time. And it's not saying that making friends is a horrible thing, but let's be honest here. If you're leaving your home country, you want to reap benefits of the opportunities in the new country. So learning a language, also building friendships, going out drinking, clubbing, partying, all of these things don't help you do that. And I'm telling you from experience. I know people like, oh, well, this person did it. You can always find the exception to the rule, but at the end of the day, the rule is still the rule. Let's take Panama and Colombia. I fully immersed in the culture, fully learned Spanish. And guess what? I wasn't able to open up businesses there. I wasn't able to do anything to create generational wealth there. Some because of the corruption that existed, and some just because it was too expensive to play in those countries as far as from a business perspective. And so now that I am in Africa, I am not here to do the same things I've done before. I believe in learning from my past mistakes. So let's take in the United States, if you live in a predominantly Black American neighborhood, most of your corner stores, gas stations, all of those things are owned by foreigners. I can tell you from an experience when I was growing up, I used to never understand why they always can't speak English. Sometimes they got to use their kids to do translation, all of this. And now I understand it. It does not matter. Business is business. They came there to do business. They didn't come there to socialize. They're allowing their kids to socialize and get into the opportunities. And that's the same way I'm approaching everything now. Now, does that mean I do not have people that I talk to, people that I may see every once in a while? No, I have people that I build network with. Like today, I went and looked at some land, and the people that I'm cool with, that I know they have the same like mind, I shared with them the information, the video that I took, and gave them the contact number. Now, there's a big difference between networking and friends. You can become friends with anybody, but you do not network with anybody. And what I mean by that is someone who's doing drugs. Let's just use a very extreme example. Someone that's doing drugs is not someone you're going to be trying to network with for business ventures. So I am very, very particular on who I network with. If you're sitting here talking to me about going out chasing women, if you're sitting here talking to me about, oh, let's go have some drinks, oh, let's go do some type of drugs, I have zero interest in knowing you. And that's not a bad thing. It's just my prerogative. That is how I choose to live my life coming on out. Now, let's say if you are someone who is a socialite, then you may build a lot of friendships. You may be out in the clubs. You may be doing the drinking. You may do the nightlife. There's nothing wrong with that. And I think this is one of the things that a lot of people misunderstand. They feel like everybody has to live their life the same way. I'm telling you, you don't. I'm telling you, quit worrying about what other people think about your life and live life on your terms. Is my life boring? No. I go out when I want to go out. I go on date when I want to go out. Go on a date. This weekend, I went to Masubi, a Japanese restaurant. Very beautiful atmosphere, great place. I went there. It was me and two other people. Just because I don't share those parts of my life, it doesn't mean that those things are not happening in the background. Also, it doesn't, to enjoy yourself and to have fun does not mean socializing with people. One of the things that I focus on very highly is I make sure my house is comfortable. So like now where the electricity is getting a little bit more stable, the load shedding isn't as bad, I'm able to play my games. I'm able to watch my movies. I'm able to keep myself occupied the way that I want to keep myself occupied. I don't want to be out in the streets. I live that life. And like for the military veterans out there, especially if you're someone that went straight overseas. So at 18 years old, yeah, I was 18. Man, that's crazy. At 18 years old, I went straight to South Korea. I did all the drinking, the partying, being friends with bar owners, all of that nonsense. I'm done with that, man. Like, after a while, you have to either decide to mature or you're going to be the same person that you're going to always be. And I think men really need to be focused on this. Who do you want to be? Like, if you're still a man in your late 30s, early 40s, and your main priority is clubbing and chasing women, what are you going to leave behind for if you have children or if you plan on having children? You can't keep wasting all of that money. Like, do you know how much money I wasted on alcohol, drinking, club, making other people rich? Probably millions of dollars. Like if you put the compounding interest on that and top on what the price of that money was worth compared to what it is today, like almost over 15 years of that is nonsense. And then the other thing that helped me realize that I'm at a place in my life where I don't really need friends in my life. It's about people that I network and I relate to. And what I mean by that is when I was living in Panama, someone who was a friend of mine, and I think we met in, I think, whatever that grade below junior high school. So I think we met I was in intermediate school, I think is what it's called, intermediate, I believe. So very young age, and we knew each other, went to the military, talked after that. But when I moved to Panama, and at that time being married, this individual came out and visited me. And when the person came to visit, I think he was out there for maybe 2 weeks before he left. I just realized like, yo, this friendship ain't worth it from my point of view. And I'm pretty sure he had the same understanding too, because we never spoke again after that up until the day he passed away. And I didn't have ill feelings towards him. I didn't have no hatred towards him. People come and go in your life. You don't have to force things. You don't have to keep people around in your life. And when that 2 week period, I realized, look, I'm grateful for the friendship, the relationship we had up to 15 or 16 years to that point. But I was like, I don't want to continue it anymore. And after that 2 weeks, I deleted his number. I'm pretty sure it was the same thing on his end, because we never communicated again. And I'm serious. Up until the day he passed away, we never spoke again. And after I got the news that he passed away, someone else that I knew that spread it to me, I talked with him and I was like, hey, I'm sorry this happened for you, like, because they were still close. And so for him, he was longing for that friendship. For me, it was just another person on the street that passed away. And that sounds like a harsh thing, but like, let's be honest, let's be adults here. How many people in your life that are still in your life and you don't even like them? How many people you call friends and you dread when you see their name pop up on your phone and they're calling you because you know it's either some BS or something you just don't have the time or energy to deal with? You have to start letting those people go. There's nothing wrong with that. This whole thing that we've been brainwashed in school, like we're supposed to hold on to these relationships. We got to keep being the cool kids. We got to grow up. We're supposed to be ever evolving adults. And part of that evolution of being an adult is you shedding off your past life and you shed off people who are part of that past life. And that's something I don't have a problem with anymore. Like when I first started this transition of my mindset around that, it was difficult. Now I have no problem with cutting people off. I'm telling you straight up, like I can cut anybody off in this world and I'll keep living my life. because no one else dictates my happiness, no one else dictates my joy, and no one dictates my success in life. It's all about me. And I really encourage you to start becoming a very selfish person. And I know some people might, oh, you're telling people to be narcissistic. No, I'm not. I'm telling you to be self-centered. I'm telling you to put yourself as the center of your focal point. Everything that you do each and every day while you're awake and you're alive in this life, you should be focused on what is it going to, how is it, and what is it going to do to positively impact your life. That's what it means to be self-centered and selfish. It's not a bad thing. If you are doing everything to become the best person that you can be and enjoy the best things that you want in life, everybody in your immediate circle is going to reap the benefits of it. Like, it's being selfish that makes people suffer more. Like, how many times have you passed up on opportunities? How many times you passed up on advancements, passed up on your pure happiness and bliss? Like, this will be the last story. Like, when I first went on a cruise, I felt horrible because I had such a great time. And then all these people who couldn't afford it in my family, you know, the so-called friends around me that couldn't afford it, or they had to work, they didn't have the opportunity to do it. And, you know, I was just holding back my excitement, my joy, such a great time I had. Now, like, I tell people, like, look, man, if you're not afraid of water and afraid of ships, go on a cruise. It's fun. Do it. And you know how many people that when I talk to them and they've been on cruises and we share our stories and we just have a great time? Like, why don't you deserve to do that? If you had more of those times of happiness, how much happier would you be when other people are in your presence? And just think about that. Like, I know some of these things I talk about is like, it's going against the grain. Everything in society has taught us that this is what we're supposed to do. But I'm saying, look at the other side. Everything in society has told us to be selfless. But I'm asking you, look into being selfish. When I was selfless in the military, was it an honorable thing? Maybe. But you know what? It didn't get me everything in life. I wasn't my happiest. I was actually my most down and my most depressed being selfless. It was until I started being selfish, I started getting my health back. It was when I started being selfish, I started taking control of my finances. It was when I started being selfish, I started enjoying my life. If I wasn't being selfish after Cece passed away, I would probably still be in America miserable if I was still alive. Like, think about that for a second. What have you actually done? And it was from a selfish point of view. If you're someone that has a degree, if you're working your dream job, I guarantee you, if you really retrace your steps, you will become the most selfish person that you wanted to be to reach that goal. Michael Jordan didn't become Michael Jordan by saying his friends come in and saying, hey, Mike, let's go out and have some fun. No, he was saying, I want to be the best basketball player in the world at the time that he was playing. So you know what he was doing? He was being selfish out there shooting those 1,000 baskets. Kobe Bryant, LeBron James, Tiger Woods, all the biggest people that we're taught to idolize are some of the most selfish people in the world. So why don't you start to be selfish too? So if you got any questions or comments, leave them down below. If you're someone who has reached milestones and if you understand and this resonates with you, let people know in the comments below. Like, sometimes sharing your stories help people see, like, you know what? Maybe I do need to be more selfish. You know what? Oh man, I remember when I had reached this goal. You know, I was selfish at that point. Sometimes those are the things that help re-jog our memories. And so share your stories down in the comments also. If you have any questions, hit me up. You can hit me up at my email. And if also what I'm starting to do now is I'm opening up my Calendly again to where if you need to do a Zoom meeting, there's going to be, I think I'm going to limit them to 30 to 60 minutes. I haven't came up with a concrete time yet, but it's if you want to ask questions one-on-one about coming here, please make it about wanting to reside in Zambia. I don't want to just be getting on a call talking to someone for an hour and it's not answering questions that you may have about Zambia. Because also when I do these calls, it helps me to focus on and to see areas that I need to get more information in to help make more videos like this. So that's going to be it for the day. And just remember this, I'm Jason, and success is simple once you know how.